The Phoenician Scheme is Wes Anderson's latest work, and this is an important film for him. You see, I was just about ready to write Wes Anderson off. I hated his most recent works. The French Dispatch and Asteroid City were extremely boring, so I walked into this film with the good Wes Anderson. The Grand Budapest Wes Anderson dead and buried in my mind long ago. But was the Phoenician Scheme really as bad as I expected, and as what people are saying? Well, let's get into the good and bad. First off, I can't praise this movie enough for its structure. I mean, I think the concept of having plot points laid out in shoeboxes is an amazing touch and works wonders for what this movie is trying to accomplish. It keeps you intrigued in the next location and also interested in the next characters that Zaza will attempt to hustle for cash. Asteroid City specifically had a problem with this, where it didn't have much structure and it just caused you to get bored and not invested in the story. The same cannot be said for Phoenician Scheme. Another great component of this film is the acting. Benicio del Toro, Mia Threepleton, and Michael Cera do an amazing job as the three primary characters. You've heard this a million times. It's one thing most people can agree on. Speaking on the theme of the movie, a main aspect of the film was the struggle between religion and materialism and redeeming family relationships, among other things. The film shows how two people slowly diverge from their worldly conceptions and in the end focus more on family relationships, which presumably makes them happier. It's not really said for certain. While the plot allowed for this quite interesting theme and it was explored to some extent, it definitely could have gone a lot deeper and explored beyond the surface level. Another major criticism I have for this film is the climax and most things to do with the character Uncle Nubar. This character was built up throughout the entire movie to be a big mystery to the viewer, and when we finally meet him towards the end of the film, most interactions with him fall flat. Unfortunately, this does happen at the climax, so it does leave a bad taste in your mouth when leaving the cinema. That being said, the epilogue did wrap up very nicely and tied a nice bow on the major themes discussed earlier. So now that we've seen the highs and lows, how good actually is the Phoenician Scheme? Well, Doug says 3.5. Although the Phoenician Scheme has to fight through its climax and struggles a bit with shallow theming, watching the journey of Zaza as he struggles with his lifelong scheme and reconnects with his daughter is still very enjoyable. If you haven't been captivated by Anderson's recent works, I still implore you to go watch this one, and you might just be pleasantly surprised, just like I was.